from that serious setback to where he was before?
1 minute in this game, Jim, you're a rising star, and the next minute you've been imploded into a black hole. And some fighters never fully recover from that kind of devastating defeat in their rising careers. What Tszyu had to do was to somehow recover himself, because 1 minute he was on the dance card of Oscar De La Hoya for a big payday, and the next minute turned into a year of soul searching. What he finally came up with to get his motor racing again was a kind of necessary alibi. He ran out of gas, he says, because he was anemic and because he had a bad diet, is what it amounted to. Bad eating habits, whatever it takes. But tonight he's going to have a Cuban diet, and we'll see if he can subsist on that.
Man, part of the challenge tonight is that Cuban diet comes in the form of an entirely different kind of fighter than the guy he had expected to fight, Miguel Angel Gonzalez. One of the breaks of the game in which one of the greatest of all time works with us as expert commentator on Boxing After Dark, world light heavyweight champion Roy Jones, coming off a successful title defense a couple weeks ago. Roy, Diosbelys Hurtado 2 weeks ago had a fight, a 10-round decision, and the following day he gets a notification that he can take this bout and does so. Now he says that the fight 2 weeks ago will not bother him in any way as he prepares for this one. Can we take that at face value?
Yes, we can take that at face value. The Cuban guys are basically amateur fighters their entire career anyway, so they're used to fighting week in and week out if they have to. 10 days is actually a week's rest for him, so I'm sure he's able to adapt to this situation. This is what he did his entire career probably in Cuba, and I don't think it will affect him in a negative way at all tonight.
Let's get a closer look at Hurtado now as he gets ready for the biggest chance of his professional boxing career.
Let's take a look at some of his highlights of his career. You can see how experienced he was as an amateur, member of Team Freedom, the Cuban fighters who defected to America, and he's restored himself by winning 8 straight fights since that loss to Whitaker.
Hurtado had hoped to go to the 1992 Olympics as a member of the Cuban team. He was disappointed when coach Alcides Segarra chose another 132-pound fighter. Tszyu did get his Olympic experience at Seoul in 1988, fighting for Russia. A closer look now at his professional career.
Another fabulous amateur career, former welterweight champion, a Russian defector who is now an Australian citizen.
And the trademark of Tszyu is that braid down the back of his head, coming off of an otherwise close-cropped crew cut. He started growing it at Seoul in 1988, and it's still growing 10 years later. Tail of the tape now between Tszyu and Diosbelys Hurtado, and you will see that Hurtado has large advantages in height and reach, which could be a factor in the bout as he tries to outbox Tszyu. Both have gained about 17 pounds since having weighed in yesterday. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Kostya Diosbelys Hurtado fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using those unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Now, under California law, the referee or the doctor can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Fantasy Springs Casino here in Indio, California, where tonight America presents, in association with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Championship boxing for your entertainment, sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission and the World Boxing Council. WBC supervisor ringside for this bout is Bobby Lee. Along with America Presents, this first bout is brought to you in association with Main Events and Team Freedom. And now, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Interim Super Bout, Lightweight Championship bout. The winner of this bout will be a mandatory opponent for the vacant World Championship. The 3 judges assigned scoring this contest are Hank Ellis Peru, Anik Hantongam, and Terry Smith. And when the bell rings, working in his 113th, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, the referee of this bout is Dr. James Jenkin. Introducing first, Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue, weighing 139 1/4 pounds. He has a professional record of 28 victories, 19 by knockout, with only 1 defeat. He's a native of Cuba who now fights out of Miami, Florida for Team Freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, ranked number 5 in the world, introducing Diosbelys Hurtado. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black and weighing 139 pounds. As a professional, he has a record of 21 victories, 17 by knockout with only 1 loss and 1 draw. Originally from Serov, Russia, he now fights out of Sydney, Australia, ranked number 2 in the world, presenting the former junior welterweight world champion, Kostya Tszyu.
Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. Put it in. Gentlemen, obey my commands. Let's go.
This probably is the first time that 2 defectors, one from Russia and one from Cuba, have fought for a title, fighting on Indian land in the desert of Southern California. What a game. What a country.
Just to clarify what Michael Buffer said in the introductions there, the winner of this fight will be deemed an interim 140-pound champion by the governing body whose title is at stake, the WBC. They've mandated that whoever wins must fight Miguel Angel Gonzalez in the spring when Gonzalez recovers from his ribcage injury and is presumably going to be healthy enough to fight. Round 1 begins with the pattern you might expect, which is Tszyu coming forward, trying to drive Hurtado back.
Which is basically his best option, Jim, because Hurtado is so much taller than he is.
Well, the short, stocky guy has to always chase down the tall, thin, fast guy.
Hurtado was not regarded as a power puncher coming into the Whitaker. Tszyu's a power puncher, and there's the first knockdown of the bout.
I was just about to say, all of a sudden he is standing delivering instead of hitting and running. And he got nailed.
And he'll never get out of this with Tszyu, I don't think. Oh, down goes Tszyu.
2 knockdowns in the first minute 6 seconds of the bout.
Tszyu got careless and walked right in on a punch.
Came in to finish him and walked right into a punch. Give Hurtado a lot of credit because he was seriously hurt when he went down.
But this is the fight that Tszyu wants. Tszyu wants to trade punches because he's the stronger of the 2 fighters.
But Hurtado has already caught Tszyu square on the left eye, or the right eye, and Tszyu's right eye is swelling as he goes down for the 2nd time. And I was about to say Hurtado was not regarded as a puncher before his fight against Whitaker, but he knocked Whitaker down twice and has won 6 of his last 8 by knockout. Remember, there's no 3 knockdown rule in effect. Tszyu's officially been down twice.
He doesn't appear to be hurt, but his right eye is swelling badly already.
I've never seen an eye swell as badly as Tszyu's eye is swelling so rapidly, unless it was one of Arturo Gotti's eyes.
And these are flash knockdowns that are taking Tszyu down.
Two more power punches land for Hurtado. Tszyu lands one of his own and tries to follow up. We expected Hurtado to try to box, but so far this is a war.
I don't understand why Hurtado is fighting this type of a fight.
Well, one reason, Roy, is it's an 18-foot ring, which looks even smaller.
We thought the ring, with its small dimensions, would create an advantage for Tszyu. But it's Hurtado who scored 2 knockdowns in the first round after Tszyu started things off by knocking Hurtado down with his first power punch land. And Hurtado gets belted in the mouth as round 1 comes to a close. What a tumultuous opening frame.
About as good as it gets.
explain to him. He's winning the fight. He can do anything he wants with this guy. But he's got to find his range. He's got to jab. He's got to move.
You need to use your jab. Your jab is what's going to keep you at distance.
Here you saw in the opening seconds as Hurtado stood in front of Tszyu, catching a right hand followed by a left and another right. Came in to finish Hurtado off and almost got finished in return. That looked like more of a slip than a punch, but it was a knockdown as counted by the referee. 3 knockdowns in the first round.
Now, Tszyu is definitely the fresher of the two fighters now.
But look at his right eye, Roy. Look at the mouse under Tszyu's right eye. It's as big around as a quarter.
Won't affect him as long as he doesn't run into any big punches, Jim.
All right.
But he needs to get this fight over with because it's going to swell worse as the fight goes on.
He had Hurtado in trouble at the end of the first round. It looks as though Kostya's corner has told him to work to the body a little bit. Hurtado sneaks in a left hook. Tszyu comes back with a body punch followed by a right hand shot over the top.
Well, in 2 rounds in a row, the last one with Phillips and this one, Tszyu has been knocked down 3 times. And you wonder whether he can still take a punch, Roy, or whether somehow that knockout is still in his mind.
Big punches usually are susceptible to big weak chins. They don't take the punch that they give.
Yeah, but this is not to say that Tszyu hasn't had a fight since the Phillips fight. That was May 21.
Right. He's had 3 fights.
He's had 3 fights since then, including his brutal beating of Rafael Ruelas 4 months ago.
One problem he has is that he's standing straight up in front of Hurtado. That's why Hurtado can hit him with the right hand, because he's not showing any side-to-side head movement. So when he cuts down the pipe, he's coming straight forward, running right into that right hand.
Tszyu fought 2 Cubans as amateurs. Neither was Hurtado. He lost both of his fights with Cubans and believes that he should have won them both, but that he lost on political scoring. So he saw this, among other things, as a chance for revenge against Cuban fighters. Pace slowing a little bit as round 2 comes to a close.
Now he's stripping punches a little bit.
Tszyu digging that left hook to the body. And continuing to look for opportunities upstairs. Hurtado still seemingly on wobbly legs, but fighting his way through it and landing counter shots.
The reason I said this is the type of fight that Tszyu wants is because the Cuban guys went a long time fighting just 3 rounds. It's more difficult for them to adjust to this long style of a fight than it is for Tszyu.
Big left hook lands for Hurtado. Tszyu backs up for a moment.
Both of them, Roy, had long amateur careers, and both of them have had more than 20 professional fights.
Misses, okay? Yeah. And then spell. No chances, Kostya, no chances at all, mate. Just be intelligent.
You got to throw your hands. You got to move also. You got to keep moving.
Keep off the ropes and out of the corners.
Don't stand in the corner. You got to keep moving.
Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Smart, 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 smart. Okay?
Radio Marti broadcasting back to Cuba tonight. So Cubans who are listening to the Radio Marti network, which is programmed out of the United States to Cuba, can follow the progress of Diosbelys Hurtado, a former member of the Cuban national amateur team and a member of the 10-man contingent now called Team Freedom. All of them Cuban defectors fighting as professionals here in the USA. He's one of the 3 big stars of that team, along with Ramon Garbey and Joel Casamayor. Wild right hand just misses for Hurtado. Tszyu, badly swollen under the right eye, but not yet affecting his vision as he drives forward and looks to land power shots.
This is not the same Hurtado who was on a bicycle for most of the time he was fighting Pernell Whitaker. He was trying to become more of a professional fighter. So far, he's done pretty well at it. 2 knockdowns to 1.
I think he feels like his power is good enough to knock Tszyu out, so he's taking a chance at going for the knockout tonight.
And I don't think that's what Lou Duva wants him to do, but of course, Duva faces the translation problem of trying to tell Hurtado in English through an interpreter what he wants him to do between rounds. Straight right hand lands up the middle for Tszyu. Hurtado seems to have found his balance now midway through round 3 and is taking Tszyu's power shots with a little bit more self-assurance.
Is Hurtado making a mistake but not trying to exploit the right eye of Tszyu, Roy?
Yeah, he's making a mistake because the longer this fight goes, the better it is for Tszyu.
Good left hook for Hurtado. He's able to counter after Tszyu's power shots. Tszyu's so confident of his power that he doesn't bring his hands back up after he lands.
No, he doesn't. He leaves his head right there in one spot.
You would have thought that Tszyu might have learned his lesson against Fitz Phillips about the importance of defending himself.
No, because his whole career he lived on the knockout punches, Jim. Once you make yourself a knockout puncher, you never learn to defend again because you always have so much confidence in that ability to knock people out.
Well, that's certainly Kostya's mindset.
And that's why he's been down here 2 times already. I think Hurtado is getting weaker, though.
Hurtado has looked from the beginning as though he really doesn't have his legs under him. Now, as you pointed out, he was trained for the fight 2 weeks ago, and he trained right on through. Why would he have any difficulty with conditioning? He shouldn't.
Well, I think he caught some really hard punches early in the first round, and that tends to put some lead in your legs.
Cost, we've got to keep the defense up. His right hand, he's trying to bring us onto it. And if you get him on the ropes, smash everything into his body, okay? Cost, he's starting to tire a little bit. Pretty good, mate. Cost, don't even get a shot away on us again, mate, okay?
The short, stocky guy comes through with a straight right hand. The tall, thin guy looking to counter. In that same sequence, Tszyu is wide open.
Tiny, he won't get his feet on.
Round 4 of a scheduled 12. Harold, how'd you score it through the first 3?
Well, Jim, so far I got it 1-1-1, 29-29. I'll be honest with you, that first round was a tricky round. Even though Hurtado had an extra knockdown, Tszyu finished so strong, you had to give him a point for finishing stronger, and therefore I scored it even. But in the second round, I thought Hurtado won it on hand speed. The third round, I thought Tszyu pulled it out with the harder right hands. So 1-1-1, all even so far.
I had the same score, except I gave Tszyu the second round and Hurtado the third round.
And while you may look at the first 3 rounds and say, well, this one isn't going to go the distance, so the scores are academic, very often the fights that begin with fireworks end with chess games.
I don't think this will end in a chess game. It may end in
I'm not sure there's a chess player in there.
Yeah, it may end in failing fireworks, but not a chess game.
Punch it out! Punch it out! Stop boxing! Oh, let's go.
Now, Tszyu is doing one thing very smart. He's going to the body a little more now, but he left himself very open after he threw that power combination just now. And had Hurtado landed the punches that he threw, he would have knocked him down again, I think.
Yeah, Kostya just doesn't look as though he's ever going to lose that habit of dropping his hands after he lands a power shot.
And that's what I think Hurtado is trying to capitalize on.
If you can duck or slip and counter back immediately, you've got a shot.
You get surprises in the desert, can fry your brains out during the day, and at this time of year it can freeze your cactus at night. And we're seeing a surprise in how this fight is going. An action fight. Nobody could be sure that's what we would get.
Hurtado just doesn't seem strong on his legs, you know. He always seems to be partially off balance or something.
Boy, Tszyu landed a crushing body shot in that exchange.
But he's still so straight up, Jim. He's always easily hitting back.
Hurtado just not firing back with nearly the same mustard now. I think the body shots have taken away the snap in Hurtado's punches.
I think they have too.
In the first couple of rounds, when Hurtado was able to counter, it was serious. Now he tends to paw with his counter punches. Still to come tonight, 126-pound battle between Kennedy McKinney and Luisito Espinoza. It's McKinney's first fight since last December 19, when he was knocked down in the third round by Junior Jones and then came back to knock Jones out in the fourth.
Okay, let's get the towel there. Listen, you need to stay away from him. Don't get in too close with him. And watch out for his right hand. He's too powerful. You need to move, you need to move, you need to use those jabs.
On the inside.
Our interpreter is Ray Torres in the Spanish-speaking corner.
Can't let him get a shot on it. So all the good work's going to be nullified if he gets away with it.
Lou Duva threw in the words Muhammad Ali somewhere in there, trying to get Hurtado to move more, as you see him trying now, but he definitely looks the weaker of the two fighters right now.
And I think if he moves much more, he's going to give Kostya too much confidence. But that would be the perfect way to fight a short power guy like Tszyu.
CompuBox numbers in round 4, the first serious differential in punch output as Tszyu threw 66 punches and a slowing Hurtado threw only 49 in the fourth round. If Hurtado begins to fade, Tszyu will try to simply pile drive through him.
If Hurtado had thrown a powerful hook just then, he would knock Kostya out because Kostya was just standing straight up in front of him.
I don't think he has a powerful hook left, although he lands an uppercut there that drives Kostya back.
That's a powerful hook, Jim.
Yep. And more body shots from Tszyu. Trying to bring Hurtado's hands down and set up another right-hand shot. Tszyu is very strong with the left hook to the body and the right up top. Straight right hand. Tries to drive it through Hurtado's guard there. Hurtado trying to counter again.
Tszyu should keep going to the body more, though.
Yeah, I agree. He's most effective when he sets everything up with that powerful left hook to the body.
And his opponent is looking very weak now anyway. The body shots will keep him looking weak.
Trickle of blood from the nose of Hurtado as Tszyu just stalks and whacks away.
You can see in this round why Tszyu was so highly regarded before he lost to Vince Phillips.
Oh, good body shot.
That's when he hurts you. That's when he hurts you right there.
You should keep going to the body. There you go.
There you go. And Hurtado goes down as the result of the left hook to the body.
And it was a very conscious decision on his part to take a rest.
Hey, you okay? All right?
This has been a very punishing 5th round for Hurtado at the hands of Tszyu. Another knockdown, again on the left hook to the body. And that's it.
A brave fight for Hurtado. An outstanding performance by Tszyu.
The thing is, Larry, what I was saying about the guys, the Cubans not going the distance, most amateur boxers fight amateur looking forward to a professional career. So we train to go more than just the 3 rounds. The Cubans, however, always train for that 3-round period. So they don't learn that as kids to be preparing for a professional fight one day.
So you're saying that even as an amateur, you were training for longer distance?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Amateur boxing is just a prelim for us, like the American fighters. We all look to that as just a way of catapulting us into an excellent professional career.
You spend all your lives knowing that someday you're going to fight more than 3 rounds.
You're going to have to.
And the Cubans are thinking of getting to the Olympics.
And that's it for them.
Great point, Roy. We've been talking for years about what a great heavyweight Teofilo Stevenson was, but we never know what he would have done in 12-round fights as opposed to 3-round fights. Now let's look back at some replays of the closing action as Tszyu closed the show by outlanding Hurtado 39-8 down the stretch. Tszyu landing 39 of the last 47 landed punches in the bout.
Tszyu came into the round looking stronger, and those 2 body punches made him a lot stronger. Another one, down goes
Hurtado. And there's the second knockdown, and again you saw the left hook to the body was critical in the exchange. There's that swollen right eye for Kostya, but it never was a factor in the fight.
No, I knew it wouldn't be a factor because Hurtado was going to weaken. Kostya was the power puncher.
And now let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes, 35 seconds of round number 5. The winner, and now WBC interim super lightweight world title holder, Kostya Tszyu.
Well, I caught a glimpse of the official scorecards, which showed that 2 of 3 judges had Tszyu ahead in the bout, despite the fact that you'll recall in round number 1, Hurtado was able to knock Tszyu down twice after Tszyu had opened the fight by knocking Hurtado down in the very first minute. Final punch stat numbers, and there was a large edge in power punches for Tszyu. He outlanded Hurtado by 69 blows anyway, throwing 50 more, landing 69 more, thus the big difference in connect percentage. But the greater portion of that differential came in the power punch category, as Tszyu was simply able to land his hooks, his crosses, his uppercuts pretty much at will, as you can see, landing nearly 50% of them. The left hook to the body, particularly devastating once he stuck to it in the 5th round. Larry Merchant stands by with the winner.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Kostya. You have another belt. But in that first round, after you belted him, he belted you back. Were you shocked?
It's a stupid thing for me. I remember I told in the press conference that I'm rushing always too much. I'm from Russia, I'm rushing too much. And I have to calm down myself, don't rush, because he's a great puncher. And in a split second I forgot about it.
But you thought you could end the fight right then and there, and you came in wide open.
Yeah, probably this way. And who knows what's happened in the first round in my mind. But now I've got a belt. This is the more important.
Were you surprised that Hurtado stood and fought with you rather than running from you?
It doesn't matter if you have to run, you have to stop to punch. And it doesn't matter, I will wait for this opportunity for all night. Still, if you can't run and punch same time, and when he stopped, he have to punch, have to fight me. And I'm waiting for this opportunity, or like this, he just stood in front of me and fought.
All right, next you're mandated to have to fight Miguel Angel Gonzalez.
Yes.
And would you then fight, if you win that fight, a rematch with Vince Phillips?
We'll see. We'll see. First of all, this one is meant to defense, of course, against Gonzalez. It's. I mean, I'd love to fight Phillips. I'd love to fight Phillips. For him, it's going to be a great opportunity because I've got one belt, he's got another belt, and which belongs to me, and
which used to belong to you.
Used to belong, exactly right. But I believe in a condition like today, I'll gonna be show the great fight.
Just one last thing. Your eye began to puff up in the very first minute of the first round. Were you aware of it and aware of the danger of it?
It's a scratch, and I'm the man. I'm the boxer. I don't care about this kind of thing. Oh, look good right now. And to be world champion without scratch is probably not fair. And I'm very proud to back home with a belt with a little bit of scratching and.
So you're saying that mouse under your eye is a badge of honor.
Oh, it's enjoyable part of being world champion.
Thank you very much, Kostya. Jim?
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. Roy Jones leaving aside for the moment Vince Phillips, who deserves the last word on everything at 140 pounds as a result of his victory over Kostya Tszyu. Tszyu, as Larry mentioned, now faces the possibility of fighting Miguel Angel Gonzalez in the spring. If we get a full-strength Miguel Angel Gonzalez, not the one who produced a surprisingly subpar effort against Julio Cesar Chavez earlier this year, but the one, for instance, that we saw fighting against Oscar De La Hoya, what would Tszyu Gonzalez look like as a fight?
It looked like a good matchup, except the fact that Tszyu is so strong. Tszyu will not be able to, Gonzalez will not be able to stand there and go toe-to-toe